Hello beautiful people, thank you for joining me today. Today's video is gonna be about heart communication, the top skill that we need to acquire in order to make the shift from old earth to new earth. And today's video is going to be divided into 4 sections. The first one is what is heart-to-heart communication. The second section would be why is heart-to-heart communication the type of communication that we need in order to make the shift for the new world energy. The third part will be comparing communication skills between old earth communication and new earth communication. And the fourth part is practice. So in the fourth part, we're going to practice together these new earth heart-to-heart communication skills that we're going to talk about right now. Let's begin. So thank you so much for joining me. My name is Yaara, and I'm a healer, an energy healer, and a spiritual guide, as well as an empath. And I want to talk to you today about heart-to-heart communication. And the first thing I want to go into is, what does it even mean, heart-to-heart communication? Why is it so different from old earth communication? What is heart-to-heart communication to me? It's everything. It's the way that we interact with the world. It's the way that we interact with ourselves, the way that we interact with nature, with energy, with creatures, live animals, and with energies around us. So the heart communication is the type of communication that is truthful and honest and respectful also. So the first part of heart-to-heart communication is listening. In comparison to old earth communication skills, which the first one is talking. In heart communication, we first listen before we speak. And I think that really sums up the meaning of heart-to-heart communication, is that we expand the heart in order to bring in the energies of our surroundings and to communicate from the interaction of the energy that we are and the energy that we experience around us. So that is heart-to-heart communication. It means that we're not just speaking, but we are actually giving our heart the permission and the option to interact with other energies around us and to communicate from within this interaction. So in a nutshell, heart-to-heart communication means that we're truly interacting and in the other direction, in the more mind-based communication, we are demanding and we are stating our ground and setting our boundaries, and we are being very practical. And in heart communication, it doesn't mean that we don't have boundaries or that we're not practical, not at all. It just means that the place that we come from is from willingness to interact and to acknowledge energies around us. And that's where we come from. That's how we choose to interact with the world. So this is heart communication. Now, why is it that heart communication is so important to make the shift to new earth energy? So we all know that new earth energy is based in the heart, right? I mean, one of the main features of this new earth is that we need to expand our heart. We need to be able to feel and sense other people and be more empathetic and be more compassionate and contain our own emotions. And when we do this kind of work with ourselves, of learning to contain and work with our emotions, essentially what we're doing is we're expanding the capacity of the heart. And as many people in the world wake up and have a self-realization process or self-growth process, and they learn to expand their heart, they learn to listen to their heart, the thing that happens is that the vibration of the global heart, of the heart of the earth, is rising. In our heart, we all have the similar kind of sense of vibration. We all have our different way of experiencing and our different way of moving with it. Yes, but the heart vibration is generally a very soft and tender and connected heart, very compassionate vibration. And as people around the world wake up, the vibration of the heart, of the global heart, rises, and this becomes the main energy that moves us. So we're kind of moving from lower chakra vibration to heart chakra vibration for the earth itself. And in order to make that shift, and in order to allow us to experience that shift in an easier, more connected way, we want to help the energy rise between our chakras into the heart and to learn to operate from the heart. Side note here, something important. This is not to say by any means that lower chakra vibration is wrong or bad, or that lower chakra vibration communication is wrong or bad. Most definitely is not. It is blessed and it had its role for many, many years, and it helped us get to where we are. So lower chakra vibration type of communication is the communication that is boundaries based, that is resource based. The type of communication that helps you survive when you have to survive. But heart communication is the type of communication that helps you thrive and blossom. It's the type of energy that the flower needs in order to show and present itself to the world. It also needs lower chakra vibration as well, because it needs food, it needs water, right? Nutrition from the earth, it needs the sun. So it has its necessities, and us as humans, we have our necessities, and we will continue to work also with lower chakra vibrations. But our communication channel, our main communication channel, becomes the heart. And the reason for that is that because we are more able, more open to contain ourselves and to contain each other. And from that containing, we also empower, and then we thrive. So that was the second part of why we need heart-to-heart communication to get into the shift of New Earth. So let's start with the third part of this video. And this is the communication skills that we used in Old Earth and the communication skills that we are now learning for New Earth. And we'll also take a look at why these communication skills came to be that way. So if we look at Old Earth vibration, we look at lower chakra, first chakra, second chakra vibrations. These are vibrations of answering my needs and setting my boundaries and survival kind of vibration. It's a vibration of keeping me safe. And the communication skills that came from this kind of vibration is first speaking. So as a baby, everyone are anxious to see what you're gonna say. Is he gonna say his parents' name? He's gonna say what he wants. So the act of speaking and expressing out something is the first thing that we learn as kids. And if we think about it, and we go back to the time where we just started to express ourselves as humans, then we can understand that the reason that we had to express ourselves is to answer our needs. We needed food, we needed water, we needed shelter. We needed to express our needs in order to succeed in getting them. So expressing your needs, that's the first skill of Old Earth, is talking. And then the second skill is listening. So I'm listening in order to analyze and determine whether this information that I'm hearing now is going to give me what I need, is going to answer for my needs. So I'm listening, and this is the second skill, in order to analyze and determine the relevance of the information for me. And then the third skill of lower vibration chakras communication is sensing the space. So sensing the space for danger. sensing and analyzing the space around you and figuring it out if it's safe for you and if you can get what you need from that space. So we enter a new space, we have a look around, and we kind of mark the things that are relevant for us. That's the third communication skill. So sensing the space from both a mental and a survival mode. And the fourth communication skill is demanding what we need. So at first we had speaking, saying what we need, and then we came to demanding what we need. So we also know how to yell and to set our foot down and to be aggressive in order to achieve our goals, because our goals was what made us stay alive. We needed food, we needed shelter, and if we achieved these goals, it means that we stay alive. And if we didn't achieve these goals, it might as well mean that we were dead, right? So being aggressive sometimes to achieve your goals and demanding what you need. That's the fourth skill of old earth communication. And the fifth skill is also demanding and setting your boundaries in a kind of a wall kind of way. So this is my line, this is where I'm comfortable, beyond that I'm not comfortable, and this is what I do. And again, these boundaries had a really, really important role in our development, because we needed to know when it's not safe to go somewhere and where it's not safe to go. And we needed to set these boundaries so that we can stay alive. And these are kind of old earth communication skills. So on to new earth communication skills. First of all, in old earth, we started with speaking. In new earth, we start with listening. So when we attend to the heart, when we connect in order to listen from the heart, the first thing that we do is we don't even speak, we don't say anything, we just attune, we just listen. We go in and we listen. So this is the first communication skill of new earth. True listening. It's the type of listening that does not analyze or determine, it senses. It does not look for information, but rather it moves within the information, it senses it. It becomes a part of it. So this is true listening. The second communication skill is expressing from the heart. Expressing and sharing your experience. It's a type of expressing that does not say what I need and demand what I need, but it's a sharing process. It's the type of process that has also discovery, that has curiosity. It's an expression. And the third kind of skill or element into true listening, into true heart communication, is sensing the space from the heart. So we spoke before about when we go into a room and we analyze and determine if this place is good for me, is not good for me, if it's safe for me, it's not safe for me. So when we sense a space from the heart, we first of all go into the room and we kind of allow the energy around us to penetrate a little bit into our energy system, and we just sense it. We sense it, and with that sensing, we can sense if the space is wrong for us or if there is something or someone in the space that we're curious about. But it's a more curious kind of sensing. It's a more listening and smelling and feeling the vibration of the space around us. And then the fifth part of heart-to-heart communication is also respecting boundaries and differentiations. This is such an important difference. In the old world communication, we talked about setting your boundaries, respecting your boundaries. And this is really first chakra kind of energy, respecting your boundaries, respecting other people's boundaries. And then we go to new world communication, and this becomes respecting and honoring boundaries and honoring differentiations. So we go from protecting to respecting, from demanding to acknowledging. And the lower chakra is still very much responsible for this movement. It still is the one that senses our boundaries and sets them, and it also senses other people's boundaries. Because now our lower chakra, when we allow the heart to listen, our lower chakra does not only sense our boundaries, but it senses the surroundings boundaries as well. And when it senses the surroundings boundary, it can say, oh, I see that this is your boundary and I respect that. And within that respect, I can also respect and acknowledge the differences between us. And then I can also celebrate the differences between us, because it doesn't threat my own boundaries before. Because in old world communication, we set our boundaries and we had to demand them. So there was no sense of honoring other person's boundaries. I mean, of course there was, but inside, the main feature was to protect and to determine our boundaries. But when we allow energies to go in and to sense them, we can sense also why this boundary is so important to this other person, and we can honor and respect it. This is a really big difference between these two behaviors of the lower chakra. So I'm gonna put somewhere here now a small chart so that you can see the verses, like old world communication skills versus new world communication skills. So let's talk about that for a second. So in new world communication skills, we have the first step is true listening. And in old world communication skills, the first step was speaking, right? Saying what I need. And the second step in new world communication, the second step is expressing, true expressing. And then the second step in old world is hearing to analyze and determine. You see how different this is already? Already it's so different. One is very self-centered and the other is very interactive. So the third part of the third comparison between these two communication skills is in the heart communication, we have a sensing of the vibration, a heart sensing of a space. And in old world communication, we have a mental sensing and a first chakra sensing of the space. So determining again whether or not the space is safe and beneficial for me. And then after that, we have saying what you need and asking for what you need. And in the other side, we have demanding what you need. And right below that, we have respecting and honoring your own boundaries and the differentiation, the things that differentiate you from other people. And on the other side, we have demanding our boundaries, and we have setting them in stone, being aggressive and protecting our boundaries. So these are the two kind of back-to-back ways to look at it so that we can really understand what happened here. We're making this shift from looking after ourselves and surviving, and we're making this shift into seeing ourselves as a one and to experiencing the interaction between our energies and into thriving together to blossom as a garden. So from being a single tree that works to give itself everything it needs and to protect its boundaries, to being a blossoming garden that every part of this beautiful ecosystem is interacting with one another and is supporting one another. This is the energy shift that we are in. This is what is happening. One of the things that's happening, because there's a lot happening. But this to me is one of the most beautiful energy shifts that we're now making. So on to the third part, the fourth part of the video. Practice, which is the most important part, right? So let's practice. The first one, as we said, is true listening. And when we practice true listening, our kind of essence of it is to connect the ears to the heart. So to really feel what we are hearing in the space of our heart. So just like for practice, let's do it together right now. If I take a moment to just place my hand on my heart and take a few breaths. Inhale, exhale. And now we just start listening. So we attune to everything around us. You might be able to hear the rain, someone's footsteps, a door being closed. And as we listen, what we do is we kind of draw this imaginary line from our ears to our heart. And we sense what happens when the energy that we just heard comes into our heart. So we can sense it as movement, we can sense it maybe as color, maybe it has a texture, maybe it brings up a memory, a word. We just want to get this feeling of what it feels like to feel what I'm hearing. And we are just gonna let it be for a few moments. Now, the two main things that can happen when you practice this is you might find that your mind will bring up a memory. So the thing that you hear might start a memory or a sensation of something recognized inside you. So it might be linked into something in your past memories or past lives that will be alert from the sound. The other thing that might happen is that you will just reflect the energy that you are meeting through your ears. So you will either come up with something from yourself as a response to that, or you will act as a mirror to the energy that you're now hearing. So this is true listening, and you can really practice this when you listen to people. When you listen to people and you listen from your heart, you will be amazed how much closer you feel to that person, how much closer he feels to you, and the sense of security and the space of welfare and the space of balance and openness that is created between you two because you came from your heart into this interaction. So that was the first practice. The second practice. Let's practice expressing from the heart. Expressing from the heart. So to express from the heart means, first of all, to listen to the heart, right? So we just experienced listening from our ears and feeling it in our heart. So now let's go back into our heart and focus on the sensation of our heart. And then what we do is we practice saying our sensation, saying our feeling, saying what we feel happening in our body as an energetic flow or as whatever you feel it as movement. And what it means is try using words like, I feel that, I sense that. The thought came up to my mind and that makes my heart, ... So if you go to, I think that, and it will probably be a good idea, then I guess you're not in the right direction. We need to go back into the heart and go back into our sensation and feeling. So we practice just breathing, being in our heart. And you can say that right now. Say it out loud or to yourself. I sense that. I can feel that. I can feel that my heart is very attentive right now. It wants to express. It wants to speak out. This is the kind of expression that when we really let ourselves express freely, we might find some hidden gems about ourselves that we didn't even recognize yet, or that we kind of knew, but now it comes into true play because we don't filter it through the mind and we don't say, oh yeah, but probably, I should probably not touch that. I should probably, no, we just sense and we express. There's no judgment in that expression. There's just a pure act of reflecting. So again, you're acting as a mirror to your heart. Your mouth is now being the mirror to your heart. So first, your heart was the mirror to your ears, and now your mouth is the mirror to your heart. So that's the second practice. Let's go on to the third practice, sensing the space. So sensing the space, one of my favorite things to do. Sensing the space means when you walk into a room or outside of a room, or when you meet with someone, even in just in a conversation, what it really means is that you breathe and you allow your heart chakra to expand. So you can really tell yourself, I allow my heart chakra to expand. My heart chakra is now opening and expanding. My heart chakra is now open to sensing the space. And as you do that, become one with what you're sensing. So allow this interaction between energies to come into you and let yourself sense it. And then in order to sense it, you can ask yourself questions. What does it feel like? How does it feel like? Where do I feel it? Does it have a texture? Does it have a flavor? Does it have a color? So working with that energy, being in communication with that energy. And that means opening your heart into new energy to come in. And that is what true heart-to-heart communication really is. It's opening your heart and letting energy come in and letting energy come out. So that is the third practice. Going into the room, allowing your heart chakra to open and sensing the communication between the energy that you are and the energy that is surrounding you. So, fourth and last practice for this one is the practice of asking for what I need and for respecting and setting boundaries. It's very similar and it's two branches to the same tree, so we'll touch this together. And when we sense the heart's needs, when we attain to the heart and we listen to our heart, we soon start to see that we can sense what is right for us and what is not right for us. So we can sense closeness to some things and we can sense rejection to some things, and we can sense ourselves shrinking or opening in the experience of certain energies. And also we can sense what can help us with interaction with this energy right now, or what can help us calm down if our energy is feeling bad right now. So asking for what you need. And this is something that there's another side work linked into this, because it's the work of feeling safe. So asking what you need also means that you're feeling safe to ask what you need, and that you're feeling safe that the universe or you or people around you will provide for what you need. So it's safe and trust. And as we work through building self and trust, we can also more easily express our heart's need and also express our boundaries, because they know they will be respected. And the way to build this this trust and this sense of safetyness is to acknowledge what is, to acknowledge what you already have, and to realize within your own experience that this is the materializing of what you've been asking for. I won't go into that right now because it's for a whole different video, but I will say that attaining to the heart and saying what you need, asking for what you need, and saying also what is not right for you, so stating your boundaries also in a way that is clear for you, is the type of trust building exercise that you can do with yourself in order to build also this safety within myself that I am caring for my needs. And then lower chakra can be, oh, okay, you're caring for your needs, So maybe I don't need to shout my boundaries, and maybe I don't need to demand my wants. Maybe I can just ask and honor. And then as you practice saying what you need and you practice saying what you don't need, you start having this foundation from within. You can express your heart also more openly because you have this trust that you as the universe or you as your physical you will provide. So that is it for today. So now I want to hear from you. How do you feel that heart-to-heart communication comes to life within your daily communication? What is your biggest challenge when you come to heart-to-heart communication? And where does old earth communication still triggers you and catches you, and you feel that you need some more support and more exercises to work on that part? Thank you for being here with me. Leave your comments down below. Also, please subscribe and like this channel if you feel that this was helpful for you so that I can know. And I'll see you in the next one.